am indeed. 2017 has been so good to you, Tamara. What is new? And are you back making music for yourself?
Yes, I am. So much is new. I've been in studio for a while now. I've been doing loads of collaborating. I had an act called Flash Republic, which I took a break from. We released a bunch of albums over a couple of years, and we had a really great run. But us sort of taking a sabbatical gave me the chance to kind of explore my solo sound again. And around the time I started writing it, I actually got a call from Oskido again saying he wanted me to work with him again, and I was super excited to get that call because it was something I kind of always hoped would happen down the line. And yeah, I took in some of my new music, and you know, I played him a song which, you know, and we discussed the dream, which for me right now is really to kind of tour Africa and sort of try to put myself on the map as an African artist, you know, a Pan-African artist, if you know what I'm saying, and be able to sort of tour other African countries and that kind of thing, which I did a long time ago, but I think it's a very different ball game right now. It's an incredibly exciting time to be an artist in Africa, especially with all the cross-pollination and all the collaboration. It's just amazing.
Why do you think there's been that new consciousness of Africanism and making music not for just South Africans, but making it for the continent as a whole?
I think there's just been an incredible... I think what's happening now that wasn't happening before is this exactly a switching on. You know, you've got South Africans obsessed with Nigerian artists listening to our SA stars, and I think there's just an incredible power that comes with that. And I think the moment we all tapped into what we have right here, everything is just exploding now.
Look, Tamara, you have grown. You know, you've matured, even your sound has, from working with Pepsi, now you're working with Oskido. What are the chances of you maybe collaborating as well with Pepsi in the near future?
Oh wow, I haven't seen you in a while, man. We've crossed paths every now and again in an odd event or a party.
Yeah.
But I actually need to have a huge catch up with him. I haven't seen him in ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did the First Lady of Kwaito era begin for you?
Well, exactly there, literally at this very house. I was like fresh out of high school. I was wanting to be on stage. I had discovered house music a few years prior, and I was jumping up with any DJ that I could freestyle with, you know, in house clubs and house parties and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I had an opportunity to go jump up with this DJ, and he said, I know this house in Midrand or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, there's some turntables there. We need to go and, you know, jam. And we went round there, and there were a bunch of guys. I met people for the first time. And I was literally practicing there, and Pepsi came home from some gig and found me there in his lounge, singing. So he was like, you know, can I introduce you to my brother, and can you come and do this at one of my parties? And I was like, sure. And I mean, that party, wow. I think I got up on stage, and the whole room went quiet, like,
who's this?
Yeah.
What is this girl gonna do now? But that was sort of the start, and soon after that I recorded Tsatsi Mpahla, and then after that, I mean, the rest was history.
I can't help but just ask, you know, you first came into the scene, this was the song, it was brand Tamara Dey, and then the whole transition to being part of Flash Republic sort of drowned you somewhere, as much as you might have gotten a #1 hits during, I think it was the #1 on Christmas Day.
Yeah, there were actually a few bits.
As Flash Republic, now you're coming back as Tamara Dey and the boys.
No.
What is it? Just Tamara Dey?
No. You know, the Tamara Dey and the Boys thing, that was just the title of an album.
Okay.
You know, I brought out the First Lady album first, and then the second project I released with Pepsi was called The First Lady and the Boys. And it was just the title of a project.
Okay.
The Boys were the producers that had worked on the album, and I put them on the cover, and we did an amazing shoot with them, and I wanted to kind of bring the men behind the music into the foreground.
Fantastic.
So that was that. So I'm just coming back as I'm just going solo again, you know.
Just going solo.
Yeah. And in terms of Flash, I mean, the thing with Flash Republic is sadly it just didn't, you know, cross over to my urban fans.
Absolutely.
You know, one song did very well called Twister, which played a lot on Channel O. But aside from that, the sound just didn't cross over. And it was quite a lesson for me to understand that, okay, there were still these very kind of separate kind of scenes that were going down.
Yeah.
In my mind, I kind of just assumed everyone would just kind of follow what I was doing. But I mean, but that didn't happen necessarily. And I mean, I remember I would go we were doing so well, we were touring, we had number ones, we were always in the top 10 on radio, but we weren't being played on urban stations. And I mean, I would walk into like the shop and the lady behind the counter would be like, Tamara Dey, like, she'd be like, what happened to you?
It was very shaky here for you a bit with the surgery. You had to undergo a sinus, vocal surgery. Well, I'm sure that was a bit of a scare because your voice is your pain.
Yeah, well, I mean, we toured hard with Flash Republic, and I don't have an off button.
Sure.
I don't know how to pace myself, and it's been a bit of a hard lesson. My voice has always withstood just about anything. Performing, awake through the night, onto a plane, there to another gig, like hardcore touring, and an hour on stage every night, like belting out like dance tracks, in smoky clubs, the vibe.
Yeah.
And then talking to people after the gig for hours above the loud music. Eventually, after many years of that, I started to do damage to my vocal cords, and it was a big lesson. I couldn't speak for a long time. They operated on my cords separately.
She couldn't speak for months. Sure. For months.
Yeah, because they don't want to. They don't want. If something goes wrong, they don't want to operate on both vocal cords at the same time. You'll lose your ability to speak. So they do 2 operations, which means, and for a period of time, you're not allowed to talk, and then they eventually take you through talking, and eventually you get back to singing. But you just don't know if your voice is going to be the same. I went to an amazing doctor, Dr. Lance Marin, but it was that time gave me a lot of time to reevaluate my life, and spirit the solo thing again, because I guess at that time you start to think like, okay, well, what have I not done? What am I not doing? What do I still want to do? What does the dream mean to me still? And suddenly, when your voice is stripped from you, you realize like how much I've been relying on my vocals.